We like to reserve a few minutes on Sundays to discuss trends that seem to be predicted by prophecies in the Bible. We are considered futurists, and that's a good thing. We interpret the unfulfilled portions of the book of Daniel, the book of the Revelation, and any other unfulfilled future prophecies as future events in a literal, physical, apocalyptic, global context. Biometrics, artificial intelligence, cashless commerce, the manipulation of human DNA, surveillance, global government, the exponential growth of human knowledge, all of these are areas we see corroborating centuries-old Bible prophecies. The mark of the beast is presented in the Revelation as a means by which the governments of the future will control every aspect of a person's life. With this biometric mark, you're going to be able to participate in the cashless, contactless society. Without it, you'll be severely restricted or entirely cut off from goods and services. Facial recognition has become more popular and more accurate. It's one of the biometric technologies that could be utilized to take control over a society in the way described in the Revelation. Now, we're not saying that facial recognition is the mark of the beast or anything like that, only that you would expect governments to be moving in the direction of being able to control its citizens in a more direct way, and this is one way I think you'll see by the time I read a couple of articles this morning. One article I read was titled, Biden has quietly deployed an app for asylum seekers. Privacy experts are worried. Here's some excerpts from that article. In recent weeks, U.S. border officials have taken an unprecedented step, quietly deploying a new app called CBP-1, which relies on controversial facial recognition, geolocation, and cloud technology to collect, process, and store sensitive information on asylum seekers before they enter the United States. The DHS, Department of Homeland Security assessments, describe the app as necessary because border officials cannot process all individuals at once who are seeking protection in the United States. CBP's use of facial recognition poses an enormous risk to privacy and is another step down a dangerous path, Ashley Gorski, senior attorney at the ACLU National Security Project, told The Times. Whenever the government acquires a person's face print, it creates a risk of persistent surveillance where the government could identify and track people's movements without their knowledge. Administration officials have expanded the use of CBP once again to those identified as potentially eligible for exemption from the current COVID-19 Title 42 policy, under which authorities have expelled migrants without a court date and with negligible processing. That means using the app for the first time to collect entirely new biometric data, including photographs from asylum seekers in Mexico before they even arrive at the border. Now, regardless what you think about that use of facial recognition, keep it in mind while I quote another second article. And if I had talked about this a few years ago, you would have left the church because you'd think I'd become a nut. But this is a real article from a real news source, and it's called Autonomous Slaughterbot Drones Reportedly Attack Libyans Using Facial Recognition Technology. Here's the excerpt. In 2017, the Boston-based Future of Life Institute released a chilling 7-minute arms control video called Slaughterbots. It featured swarms of autonomous killer drones using facial recognition technology to hunt down and attack specific human targets. Now, according to a new United Nations report on military activity in war-torn Libya, that fictional scenario may have taken a step towards reality. Specifically, the report notes that retreating convoys and troops associated with Libyan strongman Khalifa Haftar were subsequently hunted down and remotely engaged by unmanned combat aerial vehicles or the lethal autonomous weapon systems such as the STM Kargu-2. The report adds that the lethal autonomous weapon systems were programmed to attack targets without requiring data connectivity between the operator and the munition, in effect, a true fire, forget, and find capability. In other words, once they were launched, the drones were programmed to act without further human intervention to identify and attack specific targets. So they have this, of course, they've had this technology for a while, but now they're utilizing it. So basically what they're saying, facial recognition, drone, kill. They can find you. Remember the old X-Men movie where Dr. Xavier was going to be forced into killing all the mutants, or more recently, I think the Winter Soldier, they were going to use the helicarriers to kill everybody that they didn't like. Science fiction? No, it's fact. Now, just thinking about this, looking to the Great Tribulation, if a person won't swear allegiance to the Antichrist, what's to stop them from just launching a drone and finding you and destroying you? It's possible and likely. Now, we believe the resurrection and rapture of the church is imminent. That means it could happen any moment. Nothing needs to happen before it, and it will definitely happen before the Great Tribulation. Jesus returns in the clouds. He resurrects the dead in Christ. He transforms living believers into their glorified bodies. We join him in heaven while the earth endures that final 7 years. Are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready and stay ready and keep looking up, because, ready or not, Jesus is coming.